For this assignment in the Illustrators unit, you're going to select one of these themes and the little passage that illustrates that theme. As you look down the list, pick any one that speaks to you, that is a topic and a theme that you relate to. When you choose that passage, go ahead and copy and paste that into your document and read that short passage and decide on the key elements in those words that reflect the theme. Step 3 is to create an image that reflects both the narrative passage and the theme. I want you to use your imagination, think outside the box. You can use AI to create this image, or you can create the image your own and take a screenshot of it and use that. The sky's the limit in the way I want you to demonstrate an understanding of both theme and narrative expression of that theme. Next, you're going to create a new Word document. You'll set the font to Times New Roman 12 font, and you'll set the spacing to 1.5. See, this is Times New Roman, but I would change this to 12, and I'm going to set the spacing to 1.5. In the upper left corner of my submission page of this document that I'm creating, I'm going to add my name, course, date. Then I'm going to create the image, and for the page layout, I'll center a title for your project that is the theme that I selected. Under the title, I'm going to place the image that I created, and on the left margin, I'm going to type demographic, and I'm going to add the age range that my illustration is for. That's 0 to 3, 4 to 6, 6 to 12. I know, sometimes I think the same thing. I think, well, maybe it could be 6 to 12, or maybe it could be 4 to 6. You need to make a decision. You need to take a stand. I know. I just went through it myself. I'm going to show you the example in a second. Went through the same thing. You're going to create that illustration, and you're going to type selected paragraph, and I want you to copy and paste the paragraph you selected so I can see what you're using for your inspiration. On the left margin under that, type theme and copy and paste the theme that you selected. Then write a very short paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences, that explains your artistic choices. Use Times New Roman 12 font. Remember, save your full document as a PDF and submit the PDF file. Now, let me show you an example. So I selected the theme, "The pen is mightier than the sword," and I selected this passage. A young girl scribbled a single poem on a broken wall, and by morning the whole city was singing it. No blade could cut as deeply as her words stitched hope into every heart. Stories build bridges that battles never could. Theme, "The pen is mightier than the sword." I had to make a decision, and I had to gear that image towards 4 to 6-year-olds. I know, I said the same thing, but once I knew it was for 4 to 6-year-olds, it helped inform the image that I was going to create. Then I wrote, I wanted to capture the innocence of a child and the simplicity of a statement that would move an entire town that had been war-torn and exhausted. After the town was bombed, the little girl responds not with violence, but with a sentiment. Behind her, the sad citizens see her words and begin singing. The innocence of the child is stronger than the hate of the warriors. I know. See how I just, okay. So let's look at how I created that image. It wasn't nearly as easy as you might think. So I started by pasting in the title, the passage that I read, and ChatGPT came up with this image, which I like the town, I like the people, but we don't see any words of a poem. And so the next thing I asked ChatGPT to do is create that same image showing the words of hope the girl is writing on the wall, and it comes up with this. It takes away all the people, it takes away the town, it takes away all of that stuff. So then I had it start all over again and create the new image, and it came up with this, which has all this stuff there that I didn't need. And that wasn't the words that I had for it to do. So now I asked it to do this, and it came up with what I decided to go with. The town doesn't look quite as war-torn as I would like for it to look. The people do look like they are sad and like they've been through something, though. And this is the poem that I had asked it to write. And that is that. So that is how I did that. Now, let's look at a different kind of a way. So this time I tried to get it to create a watercolor. You see that sometimes in children's books, and I thought, what if we lower the demographic, make it for a little bit younger audience, and make the watercolor. Look at this mess. First, that's not spelled correct. It made a sentence rather than a title. This is okay. These people are too sad. This is repeated for some reason. So then I go to ChatGPT and I go, okay, make the people a little happier. And now it just completely goes kaflooey. And the is gone. Sword is not spelled correctly. So this is what I'm saying when I say it's not as easy as it looks to try to use an AI app. What I want you to do when you have this all fixed up, and when I created this, I had to make this a little bit smaller than 4x6 so that it would be on the page and it would be under the title. And I'm very happy with this. The more I tried to change it and make it something different, the more happy I was with just this. And once I get this completed, then I want you to take all of this, except for your name and this information. Take all of this and put it into the discussion board and include this information. And then I want you to include one more thing, which is to tell your Cyber Cafe group how you completed that image. What app did you use? What technique did you use? If you created the image on your own, how did you come up with that image? What were you thinking? A conversational kind of a discussion board, but I want you to show your image. So once I've completed this example of my little paper, I'm going to save it as a PDF and I'm going to submit this. Remember, the title can be any font you like, but the content needs to be in Times New Roman 12 font, and it needs to be in 1.5 space. So I don't know if you can see how I'm doing that right now, but I will do that again right up here. I'm going to change all that to 1.5 space. Right? Not single spaced, but 1.5 space. And then I'll save it as a PDF. I'll submit that here under Submit Here tab, and then I will take all this information, including my image, and post that into the discussion board. And that concludes this tutorial for the Illustrator Adaptive Learning assignment.